cue cards for IELTS. Hi there, my name is Ben Worthington. In this video we're going to look at 3 cue cards, and for each cue card I'll give you a specific technique that you can use for when you answer the cue card in your IELTS exam. And in a minute I'll tell you something quite funny. So let's jump into the first cue card. By the way, these are recent cue cards. They've been seen on real IELTS speaking exams by students who sat the exam in the last couple of months. First cue card. It's going to ask me about the weather. Okay, it says describe a kind of weather you like, what kind of weather it is, what you usually do during this weather, how this weather affects your mood, and why you like this type of weather. First of all, as you probably know from my previous videos, that we attack this cue card very methodically. We organize our talk like we organize our essays. We can say, I'm going to talk about a weather that I really like. The weather I really like is sunshine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we follow through each point and we talk about each point as it appears on the card, and we work through every single point. We do not forget any of them. We do not jump past any of them. We work through every one of them to make sure we're going to get full points for task response. Now, in this specific card about the weather, actually, I'll tell you 2 tips. The first one is we can say, yes, I really like sun. I really like the sun, or I really like sunny weather. Okay, but we can upgrade this, just like we do with our writing. We can upgrade it from words that are very common that we learnt at the beginning of our English language journey. Words like and happy. We can upgrade this to I absolutely adore the sunshine. Okay, I exaggerated a little bit there, but just to demonstrate my point. So I like the sunshine versus I absolutely love it when it's sunny. It makes me feel so much happier. I feel more positive. I feel so much more energetic, and I just want to go out there and do some sport. Yeah, that sounds so much better than I'm really happy when it's sunny. Get out. So what I'm saying here is that emphasize and try and just upgrade it and be conscious of the vocabulary that you're using. Now, the tip that I want to give you is that if we get a topic like this about the weather, okay, it's a good opportunity to put in a list. And if it's a topic such as the weather, we're quite familiar with the different types of weather. So we can say, well, to be honest, I really dislike it when it's grey, when it's windy, when there's hail and snow, but I absolutely love the sunshine. It makes me feel so much better. I like it when it's light and breezy and not too hot, but ideal for doing activities. Okay? And there, it just sounds a million times better than I'm happy when it's sunny. Yeah, I've gone into detail and I've used 2 lists there: the weather that I dislike and the weather that I like. And also, as I said before, I was more emphatic about it. Now, later in the cue card, it says why you like this type of weather. And here it's another opportunity for me to put in a list. First of all, I'm going to tilt it to why do I like this type of weather. I'm going to tilt it to a topic that I really like, that I feel quite strongly about, or that I enjoy talking about. And I'll do this because my vocabulary in that area is stronger. I have to be careful when I'm using this technique to not go off topic. But it says, why do you like this type of weather? Well, I love this type of weather because it allows me to do sports. When it's sunny, I can play rugby, I can play tennis, I can go mountaineering, I can go climbing, and I can do my favorite activity as well, which is swimming in the sea. And you see all that vocabulary I squeezed in there? Climbing, mountaineering, rugby, tennis. I don't know which ones I said, but I can tilt it I can steer the conversation towards something that I'm passionate about, and I'm much more likely to open up and share and show the examiner like my extensive vocabulary. But just be careful, do not go off topic, do not get carried away. Remember that you're still in an IELTS speaking exam. Okay, let's move on to topic cue card number 2. And yeah, I'll tell you the funny story as well in a second. So in this cue card, it's asking me about an interesting place in my country. It says it's less known to somewhere that's less known to tourists. I have to explain why I like it, why it's interesting, and why not many people know about it. Now, what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to talk about a cemetery. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a cemetery, and I'm going to say it's really popular because people are just dying to get in there. Okay, sorry. If you smiled, if you got that joke, click like. If you didn't get that joke, you need to improve your IELTS listening skills and your vocabulary. Anyway, so here this cue card is talking about an interesting place. Now, the technique that I want to share in this one, okay, is going into details, okay? Here we're going to like describe things. It's similar to what I said before, but we're not going to go sort of like list so formulaic. We're going to go to like more details and try and use more adjectives, okay? So I'm going to talk about maybe the mountains behind the beach in Spain. Yeah, I would have to actually tell the examiner that I would say something like, I can't talk about my home country, England, because I haven't lived there for 10 years. However, I'd like to talk about Spain, and the location is the mountain area just behind the beach. And here it's really, it's a really beautiful area because there's moss on the side of the wall, on the side of the cliffs, and there's lots of variety there. We've got the cliff side, we've got the cliffs, we've got the mountainous area, we've got the hills. We've just got so much variety there. It's really an eye-popping landscape. It's really enchanting. Okay, so we're just going to go into little details there, and we're going to talk about like the different contrasts, and this just helps ourselves extend the amount of time that we can talk about. We can go into like minute detail, and of course we're going to be given examples. Now, third cue card. Okay, the formula here is that we're going to say the point, we're going to look at the cue card, we're going to give a reason, and then we're going to say, for example. And this is a great way, like before, if we especially struggle for speaking for 2 minutes, which I know is very common. So we say the point, then we give an example. So the next cue card here is talk about something that you've learned outside of school or college. Please say what it is, when and where did you learn it, and how it was helpful to you. So once again, we've got the opportunity to steer the conversation towards something that we're quite passionate about, something that we quite enjoy. And I recommend doing this because you're going to speak more confidently, your vocabulary is going to be better, and it's going to appear much more natural, which will all these aspects will help you boost your score. So in this case, I'm going to talk about something that I learned. It was by, I can't remember, I think I read it on a blog. So I'm going to talk about just a phrase that I learned, which was, what would you do if you only got paid for results? Now this phrase was very important for me because it caused me to evaluate my teaching techniques. So when I started teaching, like anybody, when they start doing a job, sometimes they're a little bit unsure. But I took this comment, what would you do if you only got paid for results? And I tried to imagine myself like getting zero money if the students didn't pass the end of year exam. Okay, so here it's an example that we give afterwards. So what is it? It's a quote that I learned from a blog online. It's a very important quote. It's helped me and it's guided me in my career. Okay, when and when did you learn? When and where did you learn it? Well, I learned it at the beginning of my career, like I said, and at the final part, how was it helpful for you? This is where I'm going to give my example. I'm going to say, well, it was very helpful because it steered me, or it guided me towards a results-orientated attitude, which is not very common in teaching, and we kind of share the burden, the student and myself, we kind of share the burden in getting through the exam. For example, if the student fails, I fail. And this seriousness really forced me to rethink and to utilize every single minute of that hour, of that teaching hour the student had paid for. So that's what I wanted to say about the final cue card. We can use examples. In the second cue card, I talked about using details. And in the first cue card, I talked about using lists and trying to squeeze a list in there. And all throughout the speaking exam, try and steer it to something that you feel more passionate about. As I said a few times before, you've got more vocabulary in that area. You're going to speak more confidently in that area. And it's going to flow because you've probably spoken about it a million times before. So, if you want to learn more techniques like this, and if you want to end your IELTS frustration, have a look at the IELTS course in the description. In that course, we go into more detail. We've got more techniques. You can try all these different techniques in the mock speaking exam that's included in the course. You try them all, see which one works best for you, get some feedback and start your improvement. And if you're frustrated, the course is perfect. This course melts IELTS frustration like ice in an Australian desert. Okay, my name's Ben Worthington. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and all the best with your IELTS preparation. Take care.